right, moving on. So, number 34, pure domination. This one was one of the greatest years for sports in the city of Seattle. Scratch that. No. It was the greatest year in sports history. You can argue all you want about the 79 Sonics, but this destroyed that.
Josh, are you forgetting the 1917 Stanley Cup champion by the Seahawks? I'm just joking. I mean, we did win a Stanley Cup back when there was a team. But yeah, I'm enough being a smartass. Continue. I'm sorry.
The 2013 season for the Seattle Seahawks, it was just pure domination. We had all these characters. It was like one of those teams where, you know, kind of like the Cowboys in the 90s where they had all those superstars, right?
Yeah.
They were always on TV. They had huge ratings. They had, you know, everything about the team. It was just magical. You had Beast Mode with Marshawn Lynch. You had the upcoming star with Russell Wilson. And you had, you know, Pete Carroll. He's always fun to watch because he's always just running back and forth on the sidelines and stuff. You're like, what is going on with this guy? This guy's the oldest coach in the NFL? Really?
Right.
It's crazy.
You see that defense coming together. That defense was starting, and you could see it like the year before and stuff with our giant guys at corner that could just physically manhandle, and then Cam Chancellor and Earl Thomas, and obviously you got Bobby Wags. I mean, it was just like the defensive line that I think was so underrated that time with Cliff Averill, especially when you watch the highlights of that game and just him and Michael Bennett and just the pressure and the way that they could absolutely dominate up front. Like you were saying, it was pure domination.
It really was. It really was. And the whole year was great, but it came down to that last game. Super Bowl 48 on February 2nd, 2014. The Broncos versus the Seahawks in New Jersey. And this was supposed to be a pretty legendary game. I mean, you had the #1 offense of all time versus one of the greatest defenses to ever step on the field. One for the ages.
Cold weather Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, totally. What was the weather supposed to be like for that game?
It's supposed to be this cold weather Super Bowl, and I was making a big deal out of it, and it ended up being like in the 40s, like 49 degrees, and not bad at all. But
you're right. But yeah, so basically what this Super Bowl was, it was essentially Peyton Manning versus the LOB. And going into this game, the Broncos averaged 340 games passing per game, 117 yards rushing per game, and averaged an astonishing 40 points per game. 40 points. They were the #1 offensive team in NFL history, which is, I mean, think about that. They're blowing people out.
There's no way in a million years anyone could have seen this coming.
Exactly.
I sure as hell didn't. I was so nervous. I remember like sweating through my bed the night before.
Right. So let's just say the Seahawks defense, well, they had their work cut out for them. But unlike the Steelers Super Bowl back in 2006, well, the 12s, we were traveling out to this game. We were not messing around. We meant business. And let me tell you, the fans brought the noise. You remember that thing? They were like loud, even though because like Super Bowls aren't usually loud, really loud for one team or another. Not this one.
Well, I think Seattle knew we were on the verge of something special, right? You could just feel it, the electricity.
Exactly. And Peyton Manning, well, he ended up having one of his worst performances ever. I mean, the game started out gloriously for the Seahawks.
Yes, it did.
I mean, the ball
looked like, what was he? He was trying to audible, it looked like, right? And the center snaps it anyway, like right over his head through the end zone. Like, yeehaw.
So great. And Peyton Manning ended up throwing 2 interceptions, and the Seahawks held the Broncos to just 27 yards rushing on 14 attempts. It's
14 attempts just shows you this how far they fell behind in this game, how fast.
Yeah, and one of my friends that we call Bronco Girl, she later actually sent me a text and said, right when I saw that play, I knew it was over. And, you know, right when that ball went over his head. Because, like, you know, the Super Bowl is so much about momentum. And I kind of felt the same way. I was like, that's a great sign right there.
Yes, it does.
That's a great way to start the game. And it just got the crowd going even crazier. So it kept getting better and better. If you're a Seahawks fan, it's like, it's recognized as one of the worst Super Bowls in history, unless you're a Seahawks fan. And then it's the greatest.
Yeah, a neutral party would be bored out of their mind watching that one-sided ass whipping.
Right. Yeah, so we demolished the Broncos and their #1 offense of all time by a score of 43-8. It's one of the most lopsided victories in Super Bowl history. So yeah, what's the old saying with defense, Ethan?
Oh, you know, Josh, defense wins championships, baby. Offense sells tickets.
Exactly. So, yeah. And that victory was followed by a massive parade in downtown Seattle with an estimated 700,000 fans in attendance.
We recorded that bad boy with our DVR, because, being over here in Eastern Oregon. But just so excited, obviously, as a longtime Seahawks fan and a guy that had season tickets to the Hawks back through the 90s, which was the worst time to be a season ticket holder. It was the craziest sight to see as you put down and stuff. It's just, it was unreal to see just that outpouring and just a city I think has been dying for so long to have anything relevant and significant happen to our sports programs that we have loved and supported for so long. And if you're listening, sports gods, bring back the Sonics now. But
exactly. It was so great. That was a great time to be a Seahawks fan, man.
Absolutely.
All right, pure domination. Seahawks.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.